Umuoka village, which is an Igbo village, there lives a man named Okoye, a respected and wealthy man. He ascends to the position of high chief. His early days in the roles, they are marked with diplomacy as he works to ensure peace and prosperity in the village. However, the allure of power slowly corrupts him. During the coronation of Okoye in the village square, filled with vibrant colors, the villagers were dancing, drumming, and chanting praises of Okoye, who is adorned in traditional attire. He walks proudly towards the center, where elders sit under a large canopy. The entire village looks on as Okoye is crowned the high chief. The moment is filled with tension, as an elder warns him about the responsibility that comes with power. Few months after his coronation, Okoye starts to change. He begins imposing heavy taxes on farmers and artisans, showing cruelty on his villagers. A widow named Nneka pleads with Okoye after being unable to pay her tax, but Okoye has her crops seized. Okoye's thirst for power grew. He begins to exploit the villagers' resources and the people. Using brutal force to maintain control, the once peaceful village turns into a place of war, fear, and cruelty. With Okoye's men enforcing his hard rule on them, the villagers begin whispering about a curse from the gods for Okoye's wickedness. The village priest, Ezioha, seeks divine intervention. He visits the oracle of Amadioha and warns Okoye of an impending curse if he continues his wicked ways. Okoye, filled with arrogance, ignored the warning and banishes the priests. Okoye begins to practice rituals to increase his power. He strikes fear into anyone who dares to oppose him. One night, he sacrificed a young boy to solidify his grip on the village. The village crops begin to fail, and strange illnesses spread everywhere in the village. As Okoye's wickedness spreads, a group of brave villagers, led by the blacksmith named Obinna, begin to form a resistance. They plot to end Okoye's reign, but the danger is great. Okoye has spies everywhere, and anyone suspected of disloyalty is executed. Obinna gathers a small group of villagers in secret to plan their resistance. They train in the forest and they seek help of neighboring villages. They make a pact to restore peace, even if it costs them their lives. In a dramatic confrontation, Obinna and his followers face off against Okoye's warriors, who were well trained and very strong. On the sacred hills, the battle is fast and blood flows everywhere, but Okoye's men seems invisible due to the dark magic he was involved with. Okoye's power reaches its peak, but the gods do not forget the warning. His downfalls begin as his health deteriorates mysteriously and the villages suffer more natural disaster. His once loyal men begin to turn against him. Okoye falls gravely ill. He fell gravely ill. Unable to walk or speak properly, his body begins to swell and the villagers whispers that the curse has begun. His wealth cannot save him, and his closest allies have abandoned him. The oracle, once banished, returned as the village elders gathered for judgment. The gods have spoken, and Okoye must face the consequences of his action. In a powerful scene, Okoye is dragged to the village square, where the elders, led by Ezioha, pronounce his punishment. With Okoye's demise, peace returned to Umuoka. The village slowly rebuilds and Obinna becomes a new leader, one who listens to the people, and the land begins to heal and flourish and prosper. And the oracles declare that the gods are pleased once again. The villagers gather for a cleansing ritual, and a ceremony to get rid of Umuoka's of Okoye's evil. They sacrifice a white goat and pour libations to the ancestors. The atmosphere is filled with joy and relief. Though Okoye is gone, scars of his reign remains deeply etched in the hearts of the villagers. While the physical restoration of Umuoka is underway, there are emotional and spiritual wounds that must be addressed. Some of Okoye's loyalists, including his son Nkem, are determined to reign again in power. Enkay, embittered by his father's downfall and the shame his family now bears, plots in secret to take over the village. He believes that Okoye's defeat was planned by a conspiracy of jealous villagers. He began to gather new group of followers who are disillusioned by the current leadership. Obinna senses the unrest but underestimated the power of Nkem's growing influence. The villagers, they begin to experience strange occurrences once more. Crops start to wither again, and an unexplained accident starts to happen. The villagers fear that Okoye's spirit is haunting them and has returned. Ezeoha, the village priest, seeks the oracle's wisdom once more. The oracle reveals that Okoye's bloodline still carries the curse, and that Nkem is not, if not stopped, will bring even greater harm to Umuoka than his father did. Ezeoha travels deep into the forest to seek and meet the oracle. He went deeper and darker into the forest, and he saw Nkem. It seems he's been influenced by an ancient evil that Okoye once summoned for power. Word spread through the village of Nkem's rebellion. Some villagers, still fearful of Okoye's legacy, secretly join Nkem, hoping to gain favor from him. Tension rises as rumors swirl round the village. The conflict between Nkem and Obinna escalated into a full-blown battle. While Obinna seeks peace, Nkem wants to take the village by force. Believing it is his birthright, the villagers are divided, and many are forced to choose sides. Obinna and Nkem finally met at the Sacred Grove, a place of ancient spiritual significance. Obinna pleads with Nkem to end his quest for revenge and power, but Nkem is consumed by anger. A fight breaks out between their followers, and the grove becomes blood, and battlefield ensued. During the battle, Nkem unknowingly releases the dark spirit of his father and summoned him. The spirit, hungry for more power, begins to wreak havoc, possessing Nkem and turning him into a monstrous version of himself. The villagers scattered in fear, and only the oracle can stop the spirit. The Battle of Umuoka reaches its climax as Ezeoha, with the help of the oracle, leads the remaining villagers into a powerful ritual to banish the dark spirits and end the curse of Okoye's bloodline. Ezeoha and the oracle perform an intense ritual to summon the ancestors and get rid of the dark spirits. In a dramatic moment, the dark spirit is finally banished, and Nkem falls to the ground unconscious. The village is freed from the curse, but the toll on the people is great. Obinna, though victorious, mourns for the loss and losses the villagers suffered. With peace restored, the village of Umuoka begins to heal. Obinna is officially made the new leader of the village, with the elders and the oracle's blessing his leadership. The people learned from their past and vowed never again to allow one man's greed to lead them astray. Obinna, now the new high chief, addresses the village. During a grand ceremony, he speaks of unity, humility, harmony, and togetherness, and the importance of serving the people rather than ruling over them. The villagers cheers him on as they look forward into a brighter future. Obinna now and High Chief addresses the village and seeks for forgiveness on behalf of Nkem. The villagers reflect on the legacy of Okoye. His reign is remembered as a cautionary tale for future generations, and his story is passed down to ensure that no leader will ever repeat his mistakes. Umuoka flourishes once more with peace reigning over the land. Thank you for listening. Please, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe.